Good afternoon. Would you please stand and remain standing for the national anthem of Qatar and the United States of America, after which Dr. Akan Akanade, professor at the Georgetown University in Qatar, will introduce the opening prayers. Thank you.
It is our custom to begin and end our convocations with prayer. At the beginning, we invoke God's presence to come with your grace and heavenly aid to fill the hearts which you have made. At the end, we will ask for God's blessing as we go forth to do his will. Georgetown University is grounded in the belief that spiritual development is essential to personal growth. St. Ignatius placed prayer and reflection at the center of Jesuit life. Today, Georgetown celebrates this long tradition by providing pastoral care and opportunities for worship, reflection, and service to members of the community across a diversity of faiths. This tradition sets us apart from other universities. We have interfaith and Muslim prayer rooms at SFSQ to ensure we carry on the legacy of this unique tradition. Today, we will begin the convocation with an Islamic prayer and a Christian prayer. Usman Kamara, class of 2020, will offer an Islamic prayer. Usman.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى أن رآه استغنى إن إلى ربك الرجعى أرأيت الذي ينهى عبدا إذا صلى أرأيت إن كان على الهدى أو أمر بالتقوى أرأيت إن كذب وتولى ألم يعلم بأن الله يرى كلا لئن لم ينته لنسفعا بالناصية ناصية كاذبة خاطئة فليدع ناديه سندع الزبانية كلا لا تطعه واسجد واقترب. Richard Cheng, class of 2020, will now offer a Christian prayer. Richard.
Almighty God, we thank you for bringing us together on this special day, and we ask you to bestow your blessing upon these young women and men as they are matriculated into Georgetown University. May they always seek to honor and glorify you, rather than themselves. May they be as concerned for the need of others as for their own needs. May they always strive to live the ideals that they have been taught, and may they be ever mindful of the responsibility to use their abilities to enrich the lives of others, and to preserve the beauty of this world that you have so wondrously made. Eternal God, the source of all goodness, discipline, and knowledge, bless our university in its quest for excellence. Awaken teachers and students everywhere to the unending search for truth and justice, and enable all who discern truth to make the wholeness of humankind their life's goal. Amen.
Please be seated. Members of the faculty and staff of the Georgetown University School of Foreign Service in Qatar, members of the School of Foreign Service in Qatar class of 2021, parents and friends, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Convocation of the Georgetown University School of Foreign Service in Qatar class of 2021. My name is Jim Reardon Anderson, and I am Dean of the School of Foreign Service in Qatar. A convocation is a ritual, and like all rituals, reminds us of the debts we owe to our predecessors and the commitments we make to those who follow us. This convocation, that is to say your convocation, underlines this great tradition of higher learning and of the university, of which we are all a part. In this new student convocation, we will recognize the ideals of Georgetown University and repeat the rituals for bringing our newest members, the class of 2021, into our community of learners. Today is your day. As the newest members of the Georgetown University School of Foreign Service in Qatar, and we are delighted to share it with you. I now have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Amira El-Zain, newly minted professor at Georgetown University in Qatar, who will welcome you on behalf of the faculty. Dr. El-Zain.
Dean Reardon Anderson, colleagues, family members, guests, and most importantly, the class of 2021. It's truly an honor to address you today on behalf of my colleagues. Dear students, You are here today because you won a difficult challenge, that of being accepted at Georgetown University School of Foreign Service in Qatar, a world-class school. So you should be proud of yourselves. Beginning a college career is always a thrilling time. It is the starting point of a new chapter in your life, and I know you are eager to embark on your trip for knowledge. I can't praise enough Georgetown, maybe because it's my alma mater. I might be biased, but the truth is that my attachment to it grows year after year. You will feel the same way soon. You will become a Hoya in the Hoya family for life. Many of our alumni often come back either to work here or simply to visit friends, administrators, and faculty, which means we will continue to see you even after your graduation. But why should you come back? There is a special relation at our campus between students and faculty. Our small-sized classes enable a fruitful dialogue between students and faculty. Each professor can pay attention to each of you and follow closely your progress. The small-sized classes generate also a fluid and seamless relation between you and your colleagues. These conditions bring about a peaceful and relaxed environment that nourishes the process of learning. But don't believe it's a picnic. You have to work very hard to earn your graduation from Georgetown. My first advice to you is not to start your intellectual journey with preconceptions. Learning involves listening to your teachers and to your colleagues. Take heed of the different ideas that circulate in the classroom and outside of it. Discuss new ones with your professors and colleagues who come from different parts of the world. Knowledge streams and thrives through exchange, while being uncompromising hinders your access to learning. Embrace the variety of opinions, approaches, and disciplines that will enrich your intellectual lives. This is the goal of a liberal studies program such as Georgetown. Knowledge is never to be found in one discipline, but rather at the intersection of many. Before picking up a major, make sure to be exposed to a whole bunch of new theories and new topics. Go for the unfamiliar. It's a chance of your life, so grasp it. Second, bear in mind that learning is never limited to the classroom. Sometimes the best ideas come during a conversation with one of your professors outside the classroom, or from an argument with a colleague during lunch. Moreover, there are a lot of students' clubs and activities, so be engaged in one or more of them. Try to be part of an organized trip to a country you know nothing about. Third, don't be afraid of presenting a new approach in a discussion. On the contrary, be passionate about your choices. Activate your imagination. As author Jean-Jacques Rousseau once wrote, quote, "The world of reality has its limits. The world of imagination is boundless," unquote. So dare to imagine things no one before you has ever imagined. Fourth, keep in mind that learning is a relationship between mentor and student, in which the giver of knowledge and its recipient exchange roles, because we too, the faculty, learn from you. In fact, to be human is to realize that you are a lifelong learner. Last but not least, remind yourselves that you are very privileged to be here, because many your age around the world are not given the opportunity to attend the best colleges, let alone to continue their education or even to attend school. Just think of the millions of refugees who roam the world to find a safe haven, running away from wars, poverty, famine, natural disaster, to name just a few. We anticipate that during these 4 years, you will learn how to make the world a better place through passing on what you have learned to others and helping them in their difficult lives. This is the Jesuit ideal of Georgetown, where education and compassion are intertwined. In a few decades from now, countries of the world will be governed by today's youth. Their thoughts and actions will be shaped by what they know and have experienced, making education in many ways one of the best predictors of a nation's future success. We expect that you will be among those who shape the future of your countries. You prosper and flourish as a human being through helping others. What you will learn in these 4 years will not give its fruit unless you understand that your life not only belongs to you, but also to others. Once again, welcome from the heart to Georgetown School of Foreign Service in Qatar. Thank you very much and good luck. I now have the honor of introducing Omar Al-Khatib, class of 2018, who will welcome you on behalf of the students of the School of Foreign Service in Qatar. Omar?
Hello. Before I begin my speech, I'd like to thank you, the class of 2021, for making this NSO one of the best I have witnessed. I've had the pleasure of participating in 2 previous NSOs and the honor of coordinating this one along with Nayab Rana, whose efforts and work over the course of this NSO were incredibly valuable, and I'm very grateful for her help over the last 3 months. I'd also like to thank all of the orientation advisors, whose help was critical to the way NSO ran. Honestly, Nayab and I could have sat there and planned weeks upon weeks of activities and sessions, but without our amazing and super lovely OAs and students, all of our efforts would have been useless. So once again, thank you all for making this NSO one of the best that I've been a part of. Now, be prepared to listen to some of the advice that I wish I was given when I was in your position 4 years ago. You are all now students of Georgetown University. You have officially moved on from being high school students to being college students. And you're probably terrified, and maybe correctly so. That's completely understandable and expected. It's cheesy, but when I was in your spot, I was in your spot too, walking into campus where I knew no one. I was incredibly antisocial, and as many of my friends will testify, I was unapproachable and probably a little bit mean. P.S. I apologize to all of you who really tried with me and got unwarranted treatment. It's not your fault. But it's normal. It's all normal. And that's changed now. I'm still introverted, but I've become more comfortable and sociable. See, it's the fact that I intentionally placed myself in situations that would challenge my comfort levels and test my character that made me the person that I am today. This doesn't come without its fair share of stress and anxiety, and I won't pretend that it's easy. It's incredibly difficult, but it's also equally incredibly worthwhile. It may not always feel that way, but know that it is worthwhile. Nonetheless, always move forward. No matter how reluctant you are, always move forward. New experiences are not always comfortable. They're usually the complete opposite. You will be scared. You will feel different at first, as if you are the only confused and scared one in a sea of confident people who know what they're doing. One thing that I can promise you though, and I say this with absolute confidence, deep down, even though we upperclassmen may look confident, I can promise you we're all just as scared as you are. And some of us will be scared until we graduate, and probably after. Nonetheless, always move forward. No matter how scared you are, always move forward. Another thing you will inevitably encounter is failure. You will fail. The quicker you are okay with that, the quicker you can learn to deal with it. There will be a number of times where you will get an awful grade on a paper that you have worked tirelessly for, times where you will bomb a final or even fail a class altogether. And understand one thing. There is not a student that I know of that hasn't been through that. So nonetheless, always move forward. No matter how much you fail, always move forward. I've always enjoyed writing. Throughout high school, even though writing was not stressed on in class, writing became an escape for me. I had trained myself to become a better writer in order to become better at what I loved, creative writing. Up until freshman year, I'd considered myself to be a good writer. Well, that perspective was changed drastically. And during the fall semester of my freshman year, I became acutely aware of the difference between creative writing and academic writing. And because of that, and because I'd essentially become specialized in creative writing, and because my high school hadn't really stressed on the importance of academic writing, I lacked that skill. Needless to say, I suffered for a while, and so did my grades. However, I made a point of it to actively work on writing better academic papers. I made sure to ask every one of my professors for tips on how to write better, and I had bothered a number of the people in the writing center for help on my papers. By the time that spring semester rolled around, the grades that I'd received on papers went from C pluses to A's and A minuses. If I hadn't struggled and failed in that fall semester, I wouldn't have actively made an effort to address my writing. Now I can churn out papers with a lot more ease than I could my freshman year. And you don't have to go through this process alone. One thing you'll realize over your 4 years here is that everyone is ready and available to ensure your success here at Georgetown. So don't be afraid to talk to your professors, your tutors, or fellow peers. The Georgetown family isn't just a line that we like to use because it sounds nice. It's because it reflects the true nature of what it's like to be a Hoya. My last and probably most important piece of advice is this: enjoy it. These 4 years have the potential to be the best 4 years of your life. Yes, there will be unpleasant times when you're panicking about a 25-page paper that you're only halfway through with the deadline creeping up in an hour. Yes, there will be times where you will have to cram 6 weeks worth of material in a day or two. But there will also be times when you're on the floor hallucinating at 3 a.m., laughing until your abs are sore after being severely sleep deprived. As weird as that sounds, every Georgetown student has done that at some point, or at least I hope they have. Enjoy the coffee runs, enjoy the jam sessions in the car, enjoy the friendships that you'll make here in Georgetown. I wish you nothing but the best. Good luck. Welcome to Georgetown. Welcome to the Hoya family and Hoya Saxa.
Thank you, Omar. Students in the class of 2021 join a long line of men and women who for more than 2 centuries have become sons and daughters of Georgetown University. The Most Reverend John Carroll, the first Catholic bishop in the United States, took formal possession of the land on which Georgetown stands in 1789, and it is this date that we observe as the founding date of our university. However, it was not until 1814, with the enrollment passing 100, that Georgetown's then president, Reverend John Grassi of the Society of Jesus, asked our first student, William Gaston, who by then had become a North Carolina congressman, to introduce a petition into Congress for a federal charter establishing the university. It is our custom to mark all academic ceremonies with a reading of that charter, which is our founding document. Dr. Ann Niebel, Senior Assistant Dean and Director of Academic Services, will read the university charter. Dr. Niebel.
An act concerning the College of Georgetown in the District of Columbia. Be it enacted by the Senate and the House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled, that it shall and may be lawful for such persons as now are, or from time to time may be, the President and Directors of the College of Georgetown within the District of Columbia, to admit any of the students belonging to said college or other persons meriting academical honors to any degree in the faculties, arts, sciences, and liberal professions to which persons are usually admitted in other colleges or universities of the United States, and to issue in an appropriate form the diplomas or certificates which may be requisite to testify to the admission to such degrees. Signed, Langdon Chivas, Speaker of the House of Representatives. John Gaillard, President pro tempore of the Senate. Approved March 1st, 1815, James Madison, President of the United States. Joseph Hernandez, Director of Admissions at Georgetown University, Qatar, will now present the members of the class of 2021.
We come now to the heart of today's ceremony, the presentation and robing of the new students. Students, when your name is read, please rise and remain standing through the honor pledge, robing, and singing of the Alma Mater. Audience, please hold your applause until all names have been read. Talal Abdul Nasir, Haya Abdurrahman, Ismail Abdurrahman, Sarah Abdusalam, Soha Abu Khalaf, Ahmad Abu Zahra, Saud Al-Ahmed, Al-Jazi Al-Adwa, Shawq Al-Badr, Noor Al-Dirbesti, Fatma Al-Imadi, Fatma Al-Ismail, Amna Al-Isa, Nasir Al-Hail, Fatma Al-Hashmi, Shamma Al-Hitmi, Dina Al-Jafairi, Maryam Al-Jafairi, Noof Al-Jafairi, Munira Al-Kubayzi, Hissa Al-Kubayzi, Maha Al-Ma'abid, Abdullah Al-Malki, Jasim Al-Mansuri, Maryam Al-Merri, Noof Al-Mazru'i, Muhammad Al-Midfa, Ghada Al-Mohanadi, Hissa Al-Mohanadi, Ali Al-Muheza, Rabia Al-Mulla, Sarah Al-Mulla, Fatima Al-Naimi, Roda Al-Ni'ama, Amna Al-Shahwani, Ghalia Al-Salaiti, Hind Al-Salaiti, Bothaina Al-Thani, Hamad Al-Thani, Sheikha Muhammad Al-Thani, Sheikha Hamad Al-Thani, Mustafa Ahmed, Venus Bahari, Masa Barakat, Shaima Ben Kermi, Wajd Bishara, Kwan Han Chen, Kemra Chorn, Sujin Choi, Dana Darwish, Abida Diab, Inji Ifat, Bathaina Al-Khishan, Malak Al-Moh, Nurhan Al-Nahla, Fatima Faruqi, Irakli Gobejishvili, Sujang Ham, Lu'ay Hamad, Saad Iqbal, Yasmin Qalla, Shin Young Kim, Sarah Lidetoft, Khanza Maria, Hiba Muhammad Noor, Mishael Mufta, Nok Nguyen, Harleen Osahin, Claudio Pergolizzi, Adam Polacco, Irene Pramod, Abdurrahman Qayyum, Khulud Sadeh, Mona Saif, Amna Salat, Jonah Selvakumar, Fiza Shabir, Fiza Shahzad, Mudassir Raza Shakir, Natasha Vincent. Dean Reardon Anderson, I have the distinct pleasure to present to you the newest members of Georgetown University's School of Foreign Service.
Thank you, Joe. Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2021, I am delighted to welcome you to the community of learners of Georgetown University. As members of this community, we commit ourselves to be truthful in all that we say and all that we write. And at Georgetown, we invite all incoming students to express this commitment by reciting the Honor Pledge. The Honor Pledge will be led by Alicia Kamran, class of 2018, and student chair of the Honor Council. Alicia?
Choosing to attend Georgetown entails joining a distinct culture centered on the values of honor, commitment, community, and academic integrity. These ideals, highlighted in the Honor Pledge, form an essential part of a Georgetown education. You will find the words to the Honor Pledge in the centerfold of your programs. Students, please repeat each phrase of the Honor Pledge after me. In the pursuit of the high ideals and rigorous standards of academic life, I commit myself to respect and uphold the Georgetown University Honor System, to be honest in any academic endeavor, and to conduct myself honorably. As a responsible member of the Georgetown community, and we live and work together.
Thank you, Alicia. Members of the class of 2021, now that you have taken the honor pledge, I invite you to become partners with us in the ancient and honorable community of scholars. The faculty you see before you wear the splendid robes that mark them as members of our academic community. The wearing of the robes, made of heavy wool, protected the scholars of medieval Europe against the pervasive chill of unheated academic halls. Today in Doha, we do not exactly need this protection. Still, the practice of wearing academic regalia reminds us of our roots to a vulnerable community that embraces a commitment to honesty and integrity in all we do. The robe you carry over your arm is the bachelor's gown. When you don that gown, you become a part of this community and signify thereby your pledge to pursue its highest ideals, the search for truth in the service to your community, your country, and the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please don your garb. Fellow faculty, deans, staff, parents, and friends, please join me in welcoming the newest members of the Georgetown University community. Now, will everyone please rise and join Mr. Uday Rosario and Dr. Brendan Hill in singing the Georgetown Alma Mater. You will find the words and music in your program in the centerfold.
Hail, O Georgetown Alma Mater, swift Potomac's lovely daughter, ever watching by the water, smiles on us today. Now her children gather round her, lo, with garlands they have crowned her. Reverent hands and fond enwound her with the blue and gray. Wave her colors ever, furl her standard never, but raise it high and proudly cry, may Georgetown live forever. Where Potomac's tide is streaming, from her spires and steeples beaming, see the grand old banner gleaming, Georgetown's blue and gray.
The test of true quality singing is if you can carry the tune with me singing behind you. And they did a splendid job. Please be seated. It is now my pleasure to bring to the newest members of our community a message via video from Dr. John J. DeGioia, President of Georgetown University. Dr. Gioia is a graduate of the Georgetown College class of 1979 and holds the Doctor of Philosophy from from the Georgetown Philosophy Department.
On behalf of our entire university community, it is my privilege to welcome you to Georgetown University. We come together today across more than 11,000 kilometers, 7 time zones, 2 continents, and 1 ocean to celebrate your entrance into this very special community that we share. Ours is a community animated by a tradition. This tradition is deeply rooted in our Catholic and Jesuit identity and in the teachings of the founder of the Society of Jesus, St. Ignatius of Loyola. St. Ignatius and the early Jesuits, almost 5 centuries ago, provided the foundation for our way of life, our way of proceeding here at Georgetown. This way of life that each of us share as members of this community is characterized by values that bind us together, a commitment to academic excellence, to the pursuit of knowledge through dialogue, to faith, to a life of contemplation, and to serving each other, our communities, and our global family. These are values that we hope will come alive during your time with us. We are excited for the time ahead as you embark on this new journey, a journey in which you will engage with diverse, often challenging ideas and viewpoints, and will deepen your own self-understanding and your understanding of how best to contribute to impact our world. We all share in the extraordinary privilege of membership in our Georgetown community. With this privilege also comes responsibility in how we care for one another and for our world. Our world is faced with urgent challenges, from how we think about our relationship to our environment, to our assumptions about growth in our economies, from fostering interreligious understanding to addressing the sources of violence and unrest around the globe. We have the opportunity, within the context of our Georgetown community, to confront these challenges. Universities are uniquely positioned to act as conveners of discourse, to provide a context for deeper understanding and greater civility among peoples of disparate experiences, cultures, and faiths. In our university community, we draw on a strong tradition of fostering intercultural and interreligious understanding. We are deeply committed to promoting dialogue and an open exchange of ideas, because we believe this is the best way to achieve a deeper understanding of one another and of our world. These values bridge the physical distance between us. In our tradition, we have the resources to build bridges of compassion, understanding, and peace, not only between Washington and Doha, but among all members of our global family, especially those who are most in need, who are marginalized, who are displaced, those whose lives are impacted and disrupted by violence, war, and disease. The deepest commitment we have within our tradition is the belief that by seeking the very best in one another, we'll find the very best in ourselves. You represent the very best hope for our world. We are proud to call you daughters and sons of Georgetown, and we look forward to joining you on the extraordinary journey ahead. Welcome to Georgetown.
Well, it says here I'm supposed to talk, so let me give you a message. Now that I see you're all Georgetown students, I'm prepared to reveal to you the 3 secrets of Georgetown. The first secret is the answer to the question that you've been asking yourself since we all came in here. That is to say, you look at this and you said to yourselves, where did they get that crowd? Did you ever see a more forbidding, ugly, angry group of people than the faculty you're about to join? And you're asking yourself, how did they get that way? And my answer to you is, respect us because we earned it. We practice it. I go home every weekend and practice slamming the door so that a student who comes to see me will be rejected. Or I adopt this voice and I say, "Well, Miss Althani, why didn't you do your homework?" The second secret that I have to offer you is the answer to the question, why do we do that? Why are we so defensive? And the answer is, we're scared. We're scared because we are afraid that you won't accept us. And it's a defensive mechanism. Because you hold the key to the fulfillment of every faculty member. Every faculty member is somebody's little son and daughter, a little boy and girl, who grows up and looks for the approval and support of the audience. And their audience is the students. And so when you go to visit a faculty member in his or her office, or you pass him or her in the hall, and you see that rumpled face and that angry voice, just remember that inside that, behind that facade, inside that person, is someone who wants your approval, who's going to go home and say, "Hey, so-and-so came to my office today. Hey, so-and-so, this student passed me in the hall and said, 'Hi, professor. I'm important. I'm realized. I'm fulfilled.'" You hold the key to that. Now, the third secret of Georgetown is about you, not about us. And you all, like, if you're like me, I was a freshman in college more than 50 years ago, and I can tell you, I was scared. In the first semester, the highest grade I got in an English paper was a D, and I thought I was done. D is for done. I thought I was going to be gone by Christmas, right? But we know something about you that you don't know. And what we know is that, baby, you got what it takes. We have looked very carefully at your records, your performance in high school, your grades, your recommendations, and we have made the judgment that you have what it takes to succeed at Georgetown. So 4 years from now, when President DeGioia is out here and you march across this stage and receive your degree, you look at me and you say, "Professor, you were right all along. I got what it takes, and I made it here." Now the question is, what is it that we're going to give you in these 4 years? What is it that's going to make you succeed? And the answer is, there are really 4 elements to a Georgetown education. Each element becomes more difficult and depends more on you and less on us. The first element of an education is one that we give to you. I'll call it instruction. The faculty you see up here on the stage know a lot of stuff. They know about history, politics, economics, languages, culture. They know a lot about a lot of stuff. And they're going to give it to you in their lectures, their readings, and their classroom discussions. And then they're going to test you to see if you've learned it. You're going to have to write papers and exams and participate in class to show that you have engaged in the delivery of this traditional knowledge. But this is only instruction. This is what we know and can tell you and what you can learn from us. The second element of an education is much harder than the first and depends more on you and less on us. And this is about how you learn what we don't know. Because we really don't know what your future holds. I know that we don't know because, as I said, I was a freshman more than 50 years ago, and I sat in a lecture hall, something like this, and a bunch of professors came out and told us what they were going to teach us in the next 4 years. I don't remember a thing they said, just as you won't remember a thing I've said today. But I know what they did not say. They did not say that you're going into a world in which the fundamental division of power and morality in the world, what we then called the Cold War, will disappear. The Soviet Union will disappear. And in place of these great power politics will arise a new nature of international relations in which sub-state actors play a significant role, in which new players, which were then mere colonies, would become major actors in the world. They didn't tell us, I'm sure they didn't tell us, that information would be fit together in billions of bits and transmitted at the speed of light around the world and reassembled on the other side of the world in a global communication system. And they didn't tell us that in the course of my lifetime, human impacts on the natural environment would become so significant that they would place humanity itself in danger. I know they didn't tell us these things because they didn't know that these things were going to happen. And similarly, we don't know what your world is going to be like. And so we can't instruct you on your own futures. All we can do is help you develop the capacity to learn and to understand how to fit ideas together, how to express them, and how to listen to others. And if you become a learner, a lifelong learner, then you will have truly gotten something out of this education. The third thing that is involved in the Georgetown education, and also depends more on you and less on us, is to hear the music of learning and continue the dance. That is to say, to embrace the joy of learning and to want to repeat it throughout your lives. Because this is the real key, not what we can teach you, but what you can discover in yourselves and your capacity to learn and your love of learning so that you will want to go on and be lifelong learners. That's the real value of this educational experience. That's what you want to take away from here, is to be a learner and a lover of learning. Finally, the final piece of our education, and this we can't do anything about, this is really up to you, is to develop your own integrity. Because in the long run, I'm 73 years old. I've run a lot of organizations, and I've hired and fired a lot of people, I'll tell you. And I've never hired anyone or fired anyone on the basis of their brilliance or their technical knowledge. It's always their integrity, their reliability, their responsibility, their honesty. And so what I urge you to do is think about this in your own education. Think not how clever you are or how much you understand about macroeconomics, but what kind of person you are. Because in the long run, it's really your personality that will sustain you in your career and in your life. And so it is that which we're going to try to focus on in your own education. So these are the elements of my message to you. You got what it takes. You got everything you need to be a successful student here. You will graduate with no difficulty if you commit yourself to this task. And the real commitment is to learning what you're instructed, but developing a sense of being a learner and being a human being. And if you develop those senses, you will succeed and you'll go on not only to be a Georgetown graduate, but to be a successful member of the alumni and a successful human being. So this is that which I commend to you today. So thank you all much. Welcome to Georgetown. I now ask Professor Akinade to offer the benediction. Please stand.
O loving God, merciful and compassionate, as we embark on the new school year, we ask for your blessing on our university family. Grant us the gift of peace and make us into builders of peace in our world. This is the blessing we ask for the coming year. Let us go forth in the world, rejoicing in the power of the Spirit. Go in peace.
Thank you all for joining us today. If you would, please remain standing and at your places until the academic procession has departed. Once the procession is completed, you may please join us for a reception in the atrium outside. We would like to continue the tradition of taking a photograph of the first-year students in their new robes. So I please ask the first-year students, as soon as you have recessed, to return to the stage for this photograph. Then you may join your families at the reception. When the class of 2021 entered the hall this afternoon, the school banner was carried by a senior, Farah Mahfouz. Now, as you see, the upperclassman is passing this banner to a member of the class of 2021, Amna Salat. In giving this emblem into your hands, we also entrust to you our newest sons and daughters, Georgetown itself, its present and its future. Treat that responsibility with care, so that you may live all your days in the joy and pride of this moment. And may Georgetown live forever.